What up, family? CTR Media Network. Yeah. Best in the biz. Yeah. Join the team. CTR is who we are, the media network, that's the best by far. Whether you listen at your home, at your job, in your car, come get the information that's needed above par. Never lasting, motivational podcasting, giving you the answers to the questions that you're asking. Serious talks and topics, how to come up and profit, how to better yourself, your health is here, we got it. Reaching 350 million, they tuning in. We in 50 different countries, we all can. And like-minded, find your purpose and your assignment. Come get your fix, your feel, your mental alignment. Get active and speak to the masses. Build your influence all levels and all classes. Now you know you can monetize and grow. CTR Media Network, start the show.
It's time for the Tina Ramsay Show. It's time to share, shine and grow.
Yes, hello, everybody. I am Dr. Tina Ramsay, the host of the Tina Ramsay Show and podcast powered by CTR Media Network. And today we have amazing special guests in the backstage. And I know you're probably saying, oh my God, we are. Well, sometimes God puts you to be earlier. You got to always be ready. Always be ready, because today's featured guest is just absolutely amazing. And when you think about the words visionary, resilient, and inspirational, these are the words that describes today's guest. She is, if you look up the word overcomer, there'll be a photo of her in the dictionary. Overcoming, faith activated, getting things done, relying and yielding to the power of the Holy Spirit. All of these things encapsulate today's guest, which is the amazing Dr. Judy Ambrose James. And she is an amazing woman. She's doing some amazing things. And that's why I have her on the show today. So make sure to like, follow, share, and subscribe and bring your people in, because what she's doing, you definitely want people to know about. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on Dr. Judy. And she's an author. She's an inspirational speaker. She's a disabilities wellness coach. She's also the curator, I would say the organizer of an amazing movement that is happening. And we want to make sure that you know what's going on. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dr. Tina. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it is my pleasure. And I just love you to pieces, and so grateful that you gave me some of your time on today to talk about what you do and why you do what you do. And so tell us a little bit about who is Dr. Judy.
I am, you said it at first, an overcomer. And I'm an overcomer, not by chance, but by choice. God gave me a second opportunity to get it right. I had a massive stroke, 2 craniotomies, woke up from a coma, rheumatoid arthritis, and my heart. But I say that to tell you this: there is nothing, when God favors you, you got to keep it moving. And you don't have to rely on anyone, because God got you. So that is where I come from. I've been up and running ever since then, Dr. Tina.
You're right. You've been up, going, moving, and grooving in the name of God, just getting things done. You are indeed an inspiration to me, just seeing and knowing your story and what you went through, and just seeing how positive you are. And then you're always seeking and looking for other ways in order to help other people find themselves in this thing that we call life, and also get an inspiration. So tell us, can you share with us how your personal experiences like shape your mission on what you're doing now? Because you was already a TV show host with
Believe
believing
in
your
your
dreams.
dreams.
Believing your dreams would activate your faith. So you already was doing TV with that network. And if you don't know anything about that network, you guys go check it out. But you end up coming to CTR Media Network with a special project. So tell me about that special project.
That special project
Mhm.
is generational turnaround. And God first, He sent me through a initiation and sent me over there to TikTok with all the young people. Before long, I was 4 million viewers. And that was not supposed to happen. But with God, what the enemy means for your bad, God will turn it for your good. And so that right there let me know there was a lot of young people who was ready to hear what God had put in me to say to them. So generational turnaround is a mandate from God.
And you said that you hit 4 million views on TikTok.
Yes.
Now, was that inspirational, motivational, and encouraging? And how was that? Because
Let
many
me tell
people,
you, I gotta tell you, a young man saw me as green. Okay, some way he knew that I had not been on TikTok before. So he saw an opportunity to get his followers to laugh. So I was a joke for them. So he said, God owes the world a debt of gratitude at my life. I was excited to hear a young person say that. But long story short, that was his way of getting me excited so that he could put it on a video. And then he took my excitement and he put it in words of a rap song that I didn't say. But my excitement is what got everybody else excited. Some was laughing. A lot of them was like, "You're going to hell. You are. That is terrible that you do. What you doing to her?" Well, I end up in 4 million people watch the video.
Mm. Well, you can see how God turned that
Mm.
negative situation into something positive, because even though that young man at the time took your excitement and your general love hearing him about coming to God and
Yes.
using a video and using the fact that you didn't know a lot about TikTok to his
Uh,
advantage, and then manipulate the video in such a way
mhm.
to put it over something that was about God and manipulate it to be with a rap song out of all things,
Yes. Yes.
um, to shift his followers, and then it went viral. And
Yes.
then to get his people to laugh, and then to see humanity steps in. There
Yes.
are a group of people on this earth that love negativity and want to mock people and all that stuff like
Yes.
that. But there are still good people in the world today, and those people
They
came to your
came out.
rescue.
They
They came to
did.
your rescue. They came to your rescue, and now you could have been disgruntled,
Mhm.
upset. You could
Yeah,
have just left social media altogether. That would have been
yeah.
enough to make you leave social media altogether. But yet you took that situation that was negative and you flipped it into something amazing, and you end up flipping it into something that's actually helping the same age generation that
Yeah, yes. And 4,000 young people joined, followed me. And I had less than 40 before that. After that, 4,000 young people followed me. And when they come to my line, they say, Auntie Judy. Auntie Judy is what they started calling me. And they asked me to pray. And we talk and pray. And the young man ended up coming to me and asking me to forgive him and started checking up on me because he heard about my condition.
wow, look at God.
And he's a preacher's son.
Wow. Wow, what a testimony that is, and the fact that he had to eventually come around and make that right, and
Yes,
ended up being, now he is an advocate for you, and before
yes,
he was mocking you. I mean, wow, that kind of reminds me of in the Bible where the Apostle Paul was a persecutor of the
right.
Christians. I mean, the Apostle Saul, when his name was
So,
Saul, he was the
mhm,
oppressor of God's people. But then when he, was called by God, he became the Apostle Paul and became the biggest fighter for Christians and protector. So it kind of reminds me of that situation. So with that, now you went from like 40 people to like 4,000 young people following you, because now you're not just Dr. Judy, you're Auntie Julie, which is a term of endearment when
mhm.
strangers start calling you a auntie, because that's
Yeah,
a family name, and a close family member, that's not cousin, that's auntie, right? The
yeah,
next thing is parent, you know. And so you took that and you decided to form generational turnaround. So why? Because you already is a seasoned television host on Believing Your Dreams Network. Like I said, you guys check her out. The whole network, actually, because it's more than one media place in the world, and you check out all of us, support all of us. And then now you're doing podcasting, you're going into podcasting with this. What made you decide that you was going to do generational turnaround? And it's a specific mission that you have.
mhm.
And why do you feel that you was called to do this? Because there's so many different things you could have talked about, so many things you could have did for the young people. Why this?
Well, when I went to TikTok, I was Activate Your Faith. That was the name of what I was doing there because that was my first mandate. But then God changed that thing around. When that young man called me out, God made sure that I knew what he wanted me to do. And it had to change. He changed the name from Activate Your Faith because what was going on in the world right now, and it needed a generational turnaround. The words were in their self speak for what he wants of this world. And it does not mean that it's all just about the kid, the young people. It's not just about the ball was dropped in generations in the past. And the young people right now, they have the opportunity to talk to their family, to their moms, their dads. It's time to start being for real. Because right now, they're saying, I am going to get mine by whatever means necessary. That right there, that's a sign that we need to get closer. Now, this is what they told me. I don't know if they're saying anything to the parents, but they felt like it was okay for them to say, Auntie, I'm sick of this. I'm tired of this. I'm going to get mine. So that's where generational turnaround came into effect.
Wow, generation turnaround. You're right. We are dealing with generational things that has been repeating itself over and over, and it's a generational thing. We hear generational curses a lot, but I love the fact that you taking that flip on words from generational curses to now we're gonna turn this around.
Mm-hmm.
We have the power within us to turn this around, and you're touching on topics and that really need to be talked about. And your focus, even though you're focused on the family, but your foundation is family. I would say your foundation is family, but you focus on helping men and boys, right?
Yes, that's what I was going to say. My true focus is on young men that's coming out of the prison system, but not just any young men. I'm talking about young fathers who made a mistake, got in, they haven't seen their children for years, but they've been in touch and want to get out and get back in relationship with their children. Now, there's a lot of organizations for women, for mothers, but there's not many organizations that they were single fathers that were raising their child or children. And now I am a nonprofit for a generational turnaround. And personally, I have 5 nephews in prison that all have children. So it's kind of personal to me, but they aren't the only one. And I want to make sure that when these young men step out in reentry, that they put their children first. So whatever they need, whether it's transitional housing, whether it's getting their GED, I'm meeting people that has able to help me in all those areas, because as this, we are aligned. We have to align again. Father, mother, children. We've got to get aligned so that we can make a generational turnaround to where it should be, to where it started. And I don't think we're going to see a difference in this world until the alignment is in place.
I agree with you on that. And I was just speaking with someone today about we have a lot of programs for women and young girls, but it's few and far in between for men and boys.
Yes.
And so I have been personally looking for more and more programs for men, because someone just reached out to me about a father raising his son and needing shelter, needing clothes, right? And so there is a desperate need for us to be able to provide some sort of safe haven for these men. We have a lot of men that's taking care of children. We have taken care of their children. We have a lot of men, like you said, coming out of prison. And They want to reacclimate into society, reconnect with their families, and particularly they want to connect with their children. But they need resources. They need someone advocating for them. They need to be trained. It's no telling how long they've been in there. So if they went in
Right.
there in the 80s and 90s and they coming out with all this technology and all this, they need training. They need
Right.
help, resources. They need mental health support. And so the fact that you not only built this podcast, because it started with as a podcast generational turnaround, and just God just expanded and exploded this
Yes.
podcast from a podcast to a nonprofit. And now
Mhm.
you are, when we come back for the commercial break, we're going to talk about what else it is, because
Okay.
it's something else too. And
Yeah.
you're like, well, what does it mean? It's something else too. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a commercial break and we'll be back in a moment. So if you have
Okay.
young boys or men, make sure to tune on in, right? We'll be back in a moment.
Join the She Trucking Foundation today and be a part of a supportive community of women in the trucking industry. Unlock exclusive access to valuable resources, including mentorship, educational workshops, and networking opportunities. Whether you're an experienced professional or just starting your trucking journey, She Trucking is here to empower you and help you thrive. Visit www.shetrucking.com to join us and drive your trucking career to new heights.
Anybody that knows Tina, she's all about visibility, she's all about connection, and she's all about helping people create a source of income through monetization. And so again, Tina is just really good at what she does. If you've not connected with Tina, if you've seen her show or heard her podcast and you're thinking about connecting with her, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. As a result of my connections with Tina, she has helped me with recruitment of speakers for my upcoming event. She's also helped me to recruit several authors for a few of the book projects that I have had the opportunity to produce in this past year. And in all, Tina's just a really great person, that she's genuine in helping entrepreneurs in reaching their goals. So again, if you have not connected with Tina, be sure that you do. The Tina Ramsay Show is definitely a great venue for you to connect with other entrepreneurs, to connect with other individuals that are going to be interested in your service or your project. This is Tiffany Bell. Again, you are watching and listening to the Tina Ramsay Show, and I look forward to being able to connect with you.
And just like that, we are back. And I come along with a friend whom you might ask, the amazing Dr. Judy James. All right, we just left from the commercial break, and we were speaking about how her journey started with television with her show At the Faith. And I'll say it again, with Believe in Your Dreams Network. Just check it out. Nicole is great. Then God gave her the mandate that, okay, we're going to build on this Activate Faith. We're getting ready to expand it, because if you don't know, Activate Your Faith is also a book. So go check it out on Amazon. Then it expanded to, okay, we're going to take it to another level. We're getting ready to take you into the world of podcasting. You already did TV. We're going to do some podcasting. And she got the name Generational Turnaround because she saw the crisis that young people find themselves in, and they want to turn around. They just need someone to champion for them. And so she took it upon herself to be that champion, be that advocate for the young people. And then that podcast that's on CTR Media Network blossomed to literally a nonprofit. All right. And then it blossomed from that nonprofit, and now it blossomed to what's coming up in September.
Yes, we've got an event, a summit, Generational Turnaround Summit, where we seek the truth and then we bring you the proof. We're going to bring you the proof. And by bringing you the proof, I have 16 overcomers that are going to be speaking. And they all have different subject topics that there's going to be somebody there that's going to resonate in it with that. And right now, Tina, we were talking about the nonprofit. Well, from that nonprofit, we're gonna be there because there's so many transitional housing support, family unification, parenting support. All of this our young men will need. And right now, God has sent these phenomenal speakers that cover the whole, they are a smorgasbord of what a young, and this young, it's not just for the men, let me tell you, because when you get there, there's going to be tables, panels that's going to cover everything from A to Z. And when they're speaking, they're going to resonate with you. But let me tell you, it is resource. What my nonprofit is transitional resources, Tina. That's what I'm starting, but I'm going to end with transitional housing because that's what the young men will need before they can get to their children.
I agree with you. And so we know in this country, we're seeing, since the new law passed with being able to be gun carrying states, it's
Mhm.
almost like living in the wild, wild west now,
Mhm.
because that brings on a different type of barrier. I don't know about you, but in South Carolina, they don't even have to have any training. They just can be 18 and then go purchase a firearm.
Mhm.
And we know that is not wise. I don't feel it's wise to be able to have something that could take someone's life in the hands of a child or even an adult, that is not maybe all rational at that time. So
Mhm.
we're seeing all this stuff that's happening. And then we have an onslaught of men that is going to be released from prison.
Mhm.
And like I said, it's a whole new world out here now. It's a whole new world out here. So if they've been in prison for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, the world that they were in when they got them, in prison, it's completely different. So they
Right.
all these resources that you're speaking about, the transitional
Mhm.
housing, all of the
Mhm.
inspirational speakers, and also being able to see and hear people, whether men or women, to be able to hear and see that they went through some things and this is how they were able to overcome. So I really feel that your summit is going to be an invaluable resource that your nonprofit is providing for Mississippi. Um, and thank you for taking the time to do it, because with everything that you already have on your plate, to it's not an easy undertaking
Yeah.
to organize an event, especially in person.
Look, and it's what really let me know that God gave me the okay is
Mhm.
having the speakers one right after the other come, and they even help me get the venue, the down payment for the venue. The speakers did that.
What?
Yes. And after that, the speakers, the venue were in place. Then we started selling the tickets. The tickets are on sale right now, everybody, at Eventbrite GT Summit. So we
Yes.
need everybody to go and get that. We don't wait till the last minute. Now is the time. We hoping that we need a bigger venue, Tina. That's what I'm hoping. I figure if we can go ahead and sell these tickets right now, and they're only $10.
Oh my goodness. Come on now.
Yeah. No, yes, they are.
That's a blessing at the end of the
Yeah.
day. And so you're doing all of this, which is pretty much a build up from starting with your foundational piece,
Yes.
which was activate your faith, and it activate your faith, and then it built upon to generational turnaround, and then it
Yes.
just expanded because of your obedience to the mandate and the assignment on your life. Uh, but what other people may not know is that you're also a coach as well. So there are different type of coaches out there. So what type of coach are you, and who do you help?
I am a disability wellness coach. And I put that hyphen in between disability because hyphen means apart. And we didn't want anybody to hold on to that word disability because right now, and I'm saying it right now, my hand and arm are still where I can't use it, my leg and my foot on my right side. But you know what? I'm not disabled. God says I'm not disabled. I'm well able and equipped. So I can't use that as a reason to stand stagnant. You all don't do it. Don't let anything stop you from what God has revealed to you. It may not be where you know exactly what's going to happen, but you don't have to if you believe in God. He's got you. It's already pre-planned. So that's what I'm doing. This is just the beginning. This is the beginning.
I love it because many times if you deal with some kind of tragedy or challenge or um, health crisis, the first thing you think about, because you're so overwhelmed, especially if you
Yeah.
was an active person beforehand. I know I had a stroke at
Mm.
like 26 years old, and it left me partially paralyzed from the waist down. With God's help, His blessing, I was able to regain mobility in the bottom extremities of my body. But being a 26-year-old and in the doctor office with ones 3-4 times my senior, and trying to figure out why, why, right? And so it's easy to give up. But my motivation, the reason why I did not give up, and even though I have a loving husband, I love you, shout out to my husband, but it was not my husband. And I have two wonderful parents I'm blessed with that's still alive. Hello, mommy, daddy, love you. But it wasn't my mom and daddy that motivated me during that time when I was at my lowest. It was my 6-month-old daughter.
Mm.
When I saw her in that playpen, not smiling, just sitting there, I couldn't hold her. We both had to have someone take care of us, feed us, wash us, clothe us. It was like I was a grown baby.
Mm-hmm.
And being so active, the one that always helping people. And now I'm needing everyone to help me. And then I had amnesia. Couldn't even remember that I had her. I'm constantly trying to remember that I had her
Mm-hmm.
because I lost a year of my life and with amnesia. And one day I looked at my daughter. I was in the lazy boy. Never forget it. Old-fashioned green lazy boy that someone gave me years ago that loved me a lot, said, I want you to be comfortable. And I was sitting in that lazy boy and I looked over at my daughter and something clicked in that moment. And it was like, I don't want people to tell my daughter a story of how her mother was. I want her to know how her
Oh,
mother
Jesus.
is.
Mm.
I want her to know how she is. And I could not walk where I was going through therapy. So I still needed help, still had a walker and all that. But in that moment, it was like God gave me the strength. I don't know where it came from. That was Holy Spirit. I was able to get up out that chair and pull my body to the playpen. And don't ask me how I got my legs over the top of the playpen to set myself in the playpen with my daughter. I started holding her and crying. And from that moment on, I said, I'm not going to let this thing, what happened to me, this circumstance, determine who I am, what I'm going to become. I'm going to fight this. My daughter means just that much to me, right? And I love my mom, my dad, my husband, my friends and family, but it was my baby girl. It was her, because I didn't want to be absent from her life. I wanted her to be happy and smiling, vibrant, and And so, what was it about you? Because I know that you went through the cranial, you had all this different stuff, you had the stroke. What was it that pushed you? Because it's always something, someone, something that triggers you that say, activate. What was it?
It was my she was 5-year-old granddaughter. And she was the one that I would drive to school. She was the one that I would spend time with, looking at in the rearview mirror and her little smiling face every day. And when she said, Grandma, I'm going to teach you your ABCs and 1, 2, 3. Don't worry about it. Now, I wasn't able to talk or do anything. But when that baby said that, I'm thinking about, I taught her that. And no, that was it. So I know what you mean, Tina. I know we've got to be able to say, that's the reason. That's the reason. That right there. And so now that baby is 21 years old. And now she's helping me. And she comes by and gives me a hug when she gets off from work. And I'm so blessed to be in the same town where she is.
We so similar, because now my baby, July, she'll be turning 20. And so that was when she was 6 months old. She motivated me, and she helps me to this day. Not saying that my other child don't, because that's the baby he do, but I'm just saying it's just a difference because he wasn't born yet. And so it was her. It was her, just like it was your granddaughter. It was my daughter. When I saw her little face, I was like, I have to be here to see you grow up. Like, no, not today. And so I feel like everybody has something that was a pivotal moment in your life when you're going through, when you hit rock bottom. When you hit rock bottom, it's someone, something, somebody, something you saw, seen, heard, felt, whatever, that would, like you love to say, activate you. It will activate you and move you into action. And I would say for me, it not only moved me, but it also helped me to build a stronger relationship with God. Because when I couldn't articulate what I wanted to say because my speech was gone, and he knew my heart. He knew my heart. So I was speaking in my head, but my words, sometimes when you have a stroke, you can't speak, and that's how it was. So the fact that I'm not gonna get to crying. The fact that God brought us around full circle and helping us use our voice in order to help other people and help them in a way that we may have never done before had we not went through those experiences, have we not went through that. So I'm just grateful for what you're doing. And so when I think about your mission, what you're doing with Generational Turnaround, the summit, the podcast, and everything, what is it? Or what do you want generational turnaround to become? Because it's already becoming, but what is like the final, or is it to be continued? Because God keep opening up and expanding it quicker. It ain't even been a year yet. Like,
Yes, yes. And you know, I had a I had the opportunity to do an anthology, yes. And the name God gave me was Activate Your Faith, Witness a Generational Turnaround. And with that being said, I am witnesses. Now, I already knew that he wanted to activate your faith, but I didn't quite get witness a generational turnaround. Now I'm witnessing because it's going to happen September 6th and 7th. And from there, I'm already prepared to write the book from what happens at the summit all the way up to that. And so these young, and I'm meeting so many young people. Let me tell you, Dr. Tina, that's going to be part of this summit. And they keep telling me, they call me Dr. Judy, and they say, you have inspired us so much. We're on stages now. We come to be, you have us on your podcast, not just once. When they'll call me and I get them all together and we just have a time. And that's what we did yesterday. It ended up being 3 of us. And everybody who saw that show said, and the 2 of them got together. The 2 women got together and now they're working together on You Are a Jew. So that's what I'm supposed to do. Just
wow.
get people
God is
together.
using you to help the young people, to help the younger generation. And normally you don't see the, because it's an age gap. It's an age
You're
gap.
a big one.
And so I wasn't gonna say that, but you said,
Yeah, a big one.
but look, God shows like Jonathan and David. That was a big age gap, but they was best friends. It was
Yes,
so many similarities that I see from scripture to what's happening right now in real life with you right now. I just see so many similarities. And so and that was one of the most beautiful friendships of the Bible
yeah,
between Jonathan and David. And Jonathan was way his senior, David senior.
yeah.
He
Mhm.
was, when you start doing the research, like, well, Jonathan was way older than David.
You know, back then they really had respect for the elder. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they talking about the village elder. Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. They wanted the knowledge from the elder.
Oh
Right
yes.
now, right now, it's like, oh my God, I gotta hear this story again. Here it comes, here it comes, here she comes. But we, in my time, my day, we wanted to hear those stories. So
Oh, I do.
I'm hoping and I'm praying because these young people with around me want to hear the stories. So it's a beautiful thing.
It really is. And God is pulling those right-hearted young people that want change, that need support, that want to make a difference, and pulling them together with you and also your new nonprofit generational turnaround. I just cannot wait to see what God has in store the next 6 months. I mean, what people don't realize, this just started.
Yeah.
Like he just grew you so fast because of your
Yes.
obedience, because
Yes.
you've been obedient. Now
Yes.
if you weren't obedient, you would still be stagnant. but
Uh-huh.
you have been so obedient to the calling on what you needed to do, or what he wanted you to do, I would say.
Yes.
And you could just see the blessings that's been bestowed upon you because of being obedient to the assignment. So I tell people, obedience is the number one thing with dealing with God. Be obedient. Be obedient. Even if you don't completely understand the assignment, be obedient and follow through. And you won't, I mean, literally, you don't know what God has in store for you when you just lean upon him. Lean on him and let him use you. You know, like the older people used to say, lean on God and tell him what you want.
Tell them what you want. That is right. And look, Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way that he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. And that's where we drop the ball. That's the ball. We stop training a child in the way that they should go. And now they're like, I don't know. I don't know. Nobody told me. Nobody
Exactly.
told me. When I hear that, nobody told me. How am I supposed to know? So
That's where we are. But now we have generational turnaround. And the cool thing is, everyone who's listening and who will be watching later, you don't have to be in Mississippi in order to benefit. She has a show where she goes on and do her podcast where you can listen and be able to glean this inspiration from different age brackets, including ones within your generation, to be able to see and hear what they're going through, how they are mastering this thing that we call life, and how you can lock hands with them and be able to join on this mission in order to make the world a better place. Her podcast is a generational turnaround podcast because she is determined to unlock the chains, mind, body, spirit. This is also a nonprofit. So if you are a business owner or an individual and your heart is moved to make a love offering, a donation, please do so. You can also contact her as well. Like I said, you can find her on CTR Media Network. You can also find her on all social media platforms with her name, Judy Ambrose James. You can also find her books on Amazon and just connect with her. Type in Generational Turnaround Podcast. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. She's on all social media, so make sure you check her out. If there's anything else that you would like to say, Dr. Judy?
since you put that generational turnaround podcast, unlock the chains, my daughter said, well, why you didn't say break the chains? I said, look, if you break the chain, somebody's coming behind you looking for you because you broke out. But if you get that chain unlocked, then you did something to make it happen. Okay, so go ahead, unlock the chains, mind, your body, and your spirit. And that's what I feel about that. And I hope everybody gets that, Dr. Tina, because they got a lot of force going on around here. Everybody want to force something to happen. No, that's not necessary because God already, He's ordered our steps. So no matter what it's going to take, you might go around the bend and back, but we still have our steps already ordered. So thank you, Dr. Tina.
Oh, you are most welcome. Thank you so much for being a featured guest on today's show. You guys, you know that I always tell you this every show, at the end of every show. If no one told you that you are worthy, that you are valued, that you are loved, I want you to know that I value you, that I love you, and that I want you to, what do I want you to do next time? I want you to do what? Keep smiling. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for following, sharing, subscribing, and supporting our show. And make sure to tune in to Generational Turnaround. Like I said before, you can see it on CTR Media Network and social and podcasting platforms. Make sure to follow them directly on YouTube as well. The goal is to get them to 100, then to 1,000. And if you want to support, which I know that you do, so make sure that you go to Eventbrite and go ahead and purchase a $10 ticket for yourself or for your friend. Come on, $10 to unlock the chains. I mean, come on. That's a win-win situation. So go on over and check that out on today, you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, everyone.
CTR Media Network is now accepting new podcasters to join our growing network that's reaching 350 million global listeners. Have you heard? CTR Media Network offers podcast production, podcast training, distribution, and product placement. Book us for your next event or schedule an interview with CTR Media Network podcasters today. To learn more, go to ctrmedianetwork.com.